Hello. Magparami muna tayo. Good afternoon. If you're here at meron kang tanong, isulat niyo na po yan. Mag-aantay tayong pumasok yung mga tao. Hi, Lanita Piliarte from Team Mel's World. Hello. Hug. Kung may tanong ka, pwedeng simulan mo na para mauna ka na. Hindi ko pa sinastart sa Facebook. I think. Sige, sabi ko 2 o'clock eh. Hi, Hazeline Batan. Okay lang ba yung tunog ko sa inyo, guys? Kasi I'm trying to speak very soft. Kasi may sakit ako ngayon. As in, nakala ko kahapon masama yung pakiramdam ko. Hindi siya lalala. Pero kagabi, when patulog na ako, hi Candice Cruz and Luisa Santos. Hello. Grabe lumala siya. To the point na hindi na ako makalunok. Tapos wala na talagang boses lumalabas. Sabi ko, shucks, ika-cancel ko ba yung libreng konsulta? Kaka-announce ko pa man din. Pero itinulog ko siya at kahit pa paano bumalik konti yung boses ko. Pero yan, maririnig na medyo garal-gal siya. Hi, Charmina and Hazeline. Again, thank you for telling me na okay yung audio. Hi, Celeste Solano. Oh, that's a familiar name. I think nakausap ko na to. Okay, so okay lang na ganito lang yung level ng voice ko. So, again, if you guys have any questions, uunahin ko na kayo when I start my Facebook at 2 o'clock. Actually, maybe I should start it in a few minutes para dumami din tayo doon. Actually, medyo stinart ko lang din siya ng maaga kasi ang tagal ko na hindi nagla-livestream. So, I was like, parang kailangan ko munang mag-set up kasi hindi ko maalala kung paano gawin lahat. But, okay naman. Medyo hindi ako nakakatulog lately. Laki ng eye bags ko. Kinuliti pa ako ng isang araw. If you guys have questions, type nyo na. Para yan na mismo yung uunahin ko sa Facebook mamaya. Oh, thank you, Candice. Hello, Fatima Isabel. Yung son ko, di pa siya nakakapagsalita ng maayos. Ginagaya niya lang yung words na sinasabi ko. Alright, so that's one of the frequently asked questions. Actually, not a question, but a concern. So, sige, I'll start with that at 2 o'clock. So, guys, actually, nagpaparami po muna tayo ng viewers. So, kung meron pa naman kayong ginagawa ngayon until 2 o'clock, just stay logged on. But I'll start at 2 o'clock. At least, ayan, nakakuha ko na yung mga questions nyo. Mauuna na kayo later. Ano ba yan? Tinuloko ako nitong stand na to. Gusto kong ipakita yung chan ko. Ayoko nga. Ayan, ganyan ka lang. Huwag ka nang gagalaw. Alright guys, I'm gonna go live on Facebook. I'll start with your questions at 2 o'clock later. Go live. Go live. Ang dami niyong questions na super interesting and I feel like hindi ko pa siya na pag-uusapan. Especially, so Candice, I just read your concern. And you brought something up na I feel like hindi ko pa napag-uusapan sa live streams ko. So I would like to talk about this pag nag-start tayo. Hello, Rosanna. Welcome to the Konsulta. Hi, Chastity. So good to see your name here. Hi, Cheboy Reyes Silvestre. Hello, guys. I know I said 2 o'clock pa, so we'll just wait for viewers to enter first, okay? Tapos, I already explained sa YouTube ko. Nauna akong mag-live sa YouTube saying na I hope na clear pa rin yung boses ko, but I'm going to try to speak soft lang. So, how's my audio quality on Facebook? Kasi nagkasakit ako, tapos kagabi sobrang lumala siya na actually nawalan ako ng boses. Nagpanik ako. Sabi ko, itutuloy ko ba yung libreng konsulta? But pagising ko naman today, I felt a little bit better. Tapos medyo bumalik yung boses ko. But I would like to keep speaking in low tones. So, kung okay lang and clear naman yung boses ko. Okay, thank you, Jessica. So, mag-hi lang muna ako sa mga nandito. Hi, RG, and A. Anne Marie, and K. De Monteverde de Lazaro, Jessica, hi, Jenny, Reshin, I'm not sure kung Reshin or Rechin, Lee Aaron, oy, Charm, hello, nice to see your name here, Jenny, Apple, hi, oy, watching from Capiz, ang layo, Vera Siervo, Arlene Gutierrez, Nina Oliverio Casiano, thank you so much. Yeah, I hope I feel better also kasi back to work. Kahit anong mangyari, back to work ako on Monday. Hello to Crizel, Sela, and Rezi. Thank you, guys. Okay, clear naman yung audio. So if you actually got, Rechin is watching from Cebu. So guys, if you are from somewhere not in Metro Manila, kung nasaan ako at karamihan ang nandito, tell us where you guys are watching from. Makikita natin na ang lawak-lawak na nang narating ng community natin. Hello, Jenny Beth and Josephine. And Tony's Home Shop with lots of exclamation points. Hi, Teacher Kaye. And RG. Jenny, yes, I do face-to-face speech therapy, pero po, doon po ako sa isang tinatrabahuhan ko po, isang clinic sa BGC called Kids in Motion Therapy Center. If i-type nyo po yung kidsinmotiontherapycenter.com, yun po yung website kung paano nyo po sila mako-contact, and you can, may Viber number po doon na pwede kayong mag-set ng appointment. Apple is watching from Santa Rosa, Laguna, and Lane is watching from Florida Blanca, Pampanga. Crizel also watching from Laguna. So, trivia lang, yung nanay ko ay taga Laguna talaga, nagkaralan Laguna. Nung bata ako ay multiple times in a year po ako pupuntang Laguna. Hello, A.Ann, who's watching from Lawag. Hi, Diane Alejo Pastrana. Hi, Jonalyn. Also, si Jonalyn also watching from Mandaue City, Cebu. Riziel is from Camsur. Ito naman, isa pang trivia. Ang tatay ko naman ay taga Bicol. So, lumaki po siya sa Iriga. So, lumaki din po akong yung mga nung mga nag-alaga po sa akin ay puro Bicolana. So, kahit pa paano, naiintindihan ko ang Bicolano, pero hindi ako fluent. Hindi ako nakasalita talaga. Arlen is watching from Silang, Cavite. Thank you so much. I really hope I get well soon also. Ni-refer po kasi kami dito sa ICAN, dito sa Capiz. Ano po yan? Is that a therapy center? Emva, not sure how to say your name, but hello. Jennifer is watching from Quezon City. That's where I'm from. Catherine from Quezon City. Rain is watching from Iloilo, and Maine or Mane Forbes, not sure, is watching from Taguig, kung saan ako nagtatrabaho, walang face-to-face. Yung mga nag-submit na po, nung mga naglagay na po ng mga tanong, uunahin ko po kayo mamaya. dahil nakapagsulat na po kayo. But I will start in 1 minute because sinabi ko po 2 o'clock tayo magsa-start. Hello, love. Engineer ba ang ibig sabihin yan? Hello, Estella, who is watching from Bukidnon, beautiful Bukidnon. Hi, Jeremy. Hi, friend ko to. Napadaan dito. Thank you so much. Maray na apon po from Baaw, kapitbahay lang ng Iriga. Tapos yung mga naging yaya ko po, taga-Buhi naman. Kaya yan yung mga nakatatak talaga sa akin. Si Crizel din malapit daw sa Nagkarlan. Kaya alam ko din na magaganda ang mga sapatos sa Liliw. Ochnap. I think this is Pancho, backward. Pancho is watching from Vancouver, Canada. Mel is watching from Lucena, Quezon Province. Okay, question. Malu is watching from Signal, Taguig. Kailan ang schedule ko sa Taguig? Yung schedule ko po dun sa Kids in Motion Therapy Center is Monday, Tuesday only. And actually, full yung slots ko ngayon. But if you go on my wait list, minsan po may mga nagdi-discontinue na mga clients and you might be able to get a slot. But also, marami naman din kaming ibang therapist doon who will be able to care for you as well. Estrella is from Montalban, Rizal. Galing lang po akong Rizal. Namundok ako sa Tanay nung Wednesday. Also, some tips, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm trying very hard na hindi clear yung throat ko. So guys, kayo na may sakit, may ubo, na may karamdaman sa lalamunan ninyo, kahit na gustong-gusto nyo mag-ahem, at dahil makate yung lalamunan nyo, try not to do it. Makakasama po yun sa throat nyo, which will prolong yung recovery period ninyo. So kapag po nangangati-ngati yung throat ninyo or parang gusto nyo maubo, uminom lang po kayo ng tubig. At kung walang tubig, and I know this sounds medyo kadire, pero try to get your laway. I-pull nyo yung laway nyo ng konti para meron kayong kahit konting malunok. So that's just some voice care tips as we start this. Ayan, 2:01 na. So Marilyn Robles is watching from Castillejos, Zambales. Angel Ginto says, ganda ng hair ko. Aww, show ko yun para maalala ko. Thank you. Dana is watching from Nueva Ecija. RN Slasher is from Tagbilaran, Bohol. Nida Lagat, hi. Ayan na. Okay, the questions are here. Beth is watching from Tondo, Manila. Pero as I promised my YouTube people, my YouTube comments, uunahin ko yung questions nila. So here. Naunang, may nagtanong si Fatima, yung son ko hindi nakakapagsalita ng maayos, ginagaya niya lang yung words na sinasabi ko. So this is called, kapag yung anak ninyo ay, kunyari, repeat parts of yung sinabi ninyo or yung mismong sinabi ninyo, kahit mahabang phrase yon. That is called echolalia, from the words echo, as in inuulit. So usually yung mga batang nag-echolalia, there could be several reasons na ginagawa nila ito, and it's one of them could be because kunyari toddler pa lang sila, hindi pa nila masyadong naiintindihan yung sinabi nyo. So it gives them thinking time. It gives them time to process kapag hindi ka pa nila naiintindihan. So uulitin muna nila. Sometimes hearing themselves say the word will trigger memory na alam ko na yung word na yon. And so it will help with their comprehension. Other times naman kapag, let's say, medyo mas malaki na sila, parang at around 3 years old, and there should already be some familiar words na very familiar dun sa bata, pero inuulit pa rin ngayon, it's possible na nahihirapan talaga siya sa pag-comprehend sa inyo, and it's not just a phase, but that there is something causing na hindi ka nila maintindihan. Also, echolalia happens with a lot of Gestalt learners. Oh my gosh, medyo malawak na topic yung Gestalt. Wait lang. And that means children who learn by listening to entire chunks of information rather than single words. Kasi diba, usually sanay tayo na kapag ang baby, tinuturuan natin single words muna. Mama, or kain, or dede. Tas eventually, as they get older, we expect na mapagkakabit-kabit nila yung mama, kain dede, or mama, dede ako, or something. That is what we call the natural language acquisition. But there is also another way of acquiring language, as in learning kung paano makipag-communicate um, in spoken form. There's another language acquisition type, which is gestalt, where yung mga bata ay mas na um, yung perception nila mas nakukuha nila as a whole. So instead of focusing on mama kain dede or mama dede ako, the whole thing masasabi nila mama dede ako, pero hindi actually nila alam pa kung anong ibig sabihin noon. But it just shows you na ganun yung perception nila of anong narinig nila sa inyo. So ang lawak-lawak ng echolalia, but also, and ito na naman tayo, I want to have a disclaimer where I will say that it's possibly certain things, certain conditions, but I'm not saying na kondisyon na ito agad ng anak ninyo, because hindi ko pa siya, itong lahat ng kinakwento niyo sa akin, I only know very little about your children. Hindi ko po sila talagang maa-assess. So like I said in my post, hindi po ito katumbas ng assessment or ng actual therapy. I'm just going to try to help you understand what you think you are seeing nung mga sa tingin yung nakikita yung behaviors ng mga anak ninyo. So I also want to say that echolalia is one of the common characteristics na nakikita sa mga autistic. So, it's possible na kapag nakakita kayo ng strong echolalia sa bata na you might want to consider a consult with a professional para makita if kailangan ng bata ng karagdagang tulong, baka kailangan niya ng diagnosis ng autism para masupport natin sila in their special needs. Another thing about echolalia is it also happens kapag nasi-screen addiction yung mga bata. So here is one of my biggest advocacies, especially nitong pandemic, is screen time. So, I know sawang-sawa na yung mga ang tagal-tagal na dito, paulit-ulit ko itong sinasagot, but hindi ako magsasawa because it needs to be understood. So, yung mga naririnig natin, huwag nating papanoorin yung mga bata, ganyan, bla bla bla. And then, syempre, maraming mga other people who will say, okay lang naman, yung anak ko nanonood naman, natututo pa ngang mag-English, proud pa sila, natuto yung anak nilang mag-English, natuto daw yung anak nilang mag-alphabet, mag-numbers, mag-colors. But when you think about it, does a 1-year-old have any need for these information? Yung mga nakakapag-count, recite ng lahat ng colors and lahat ng numbers. Wala pa, 'di ba? Hindi naman nila magagamit yung mga words na yan to say ABC, to say na gutom ako or masakit yung tiyan ko. So, okay, medyo I regress. Ang laki kasi nitong topic and medyo ang tagal ko nang hindi gumagawa ng videos at nagla-livestream. Medyo nagbo-buffer yung week of explaining. But so, screen time, guys, nakaka-promote din siya ng echolalia kasi ang nangyayari dun sa bata is nabobombard masyado yung brains nila with information na hindi pa nila naiintindihan. So, di ba nga, early in, di ba, people go through developmental milestones sa kanilang paglaki. Meron nga tayong, hindi pa kayo ma-recognize ng baby nyo kasi ang baby nyo makakakita pa lang yan kapag like after 1 week nga ba? I forget. Hindi ko masyadong maalala tong milestone na to. Pero, di ba, every single milestone hindi naman needs to be reached, is reached before a certain like another milestone is acquired, and that is parang ang tawag nating typical development nga. Pero so minsan yung mga bata, if merong external force like overstimulation by screen time, so kunwari 1-year-old pa lang sila. And at 1-year-old, wala pa silang halos naiintindihan. They don't understand a lot of words yet. They don't, siguro, they probably understand between 10 to 50 words. Understand ha, hindi say. They probably understand 10 to 20 to 30 words. But then, kung papanoorin mo nga sila ng videos, which have so many paulit-ulit ng mga words na hindi naman nila naintindihan, plus they don't know anong relation nito sa akin. What happens is tatakbo lang ng tatakbo yung mga information na yan in their head. They don't know what to do about it. And this is what contributes to the overstimulation. Because they're probably trying to process, ano ba yung napanood ko? Hindi ko maintindihan, basta maraming kulay. Tapos may ganitong shape na lumabas. And to us, we know it's a ball. Nagpapakita ng ball. Pero to them, they're 1-year-old. And kung wala pa silang experience with a ball, they don't know the concept of a ball. So, para sa kanila, pinapakitaan lang sila ng kung ano-anong shapes, kung ano-anong colors, kung ano-anong mga naririnig nila, but they don't understand it. And so, nag-overdrive ngayon yung utak nila, trying to understand, what was that? Ano kaya yon? So, yun yung paulit-ulit na tumatakbo na wala na silang nagiging attention to their immediate environment. And that is why this screen addiction also has an effect on attention to kapag tinawag yung name tapos hindi lumilingon. These are the things that are affected by overstimulation ng screen time. And also yung mga nagiging mabilis mabugnutin, nagiging medyo violent kapag hindi mo agad binigay yung cellphone, gustong hablutin, iyak agad, tantrums agad. Because most of the things that you see in animated videos ha, so syempre yung mga video calling exception yan because they're still seeing actual people. Pero ang medyo hindi, ang alam kong nakakaapekto dun sa mga brains ng bata, yung mga animated videos na hindi nila naiintindihan. Ang bilis-bilis ng pangyayari niyan lagi. Pak, ibang sound effect, ibang picture, ibang tunog. So, nasasanay yung bata na at every second may bagong pangyayari. So, if you take out that screen and you look at real life doesn't happen that fast. So, nagiging mainipin din yung mga bata because nasasanay sila sa napakabilis na pangyayari, which is not how real life happens. This is why nawawala yung delayed gratification concept. Hindi na rin naiintindihan ng mga bata. And so yes, sobrang dami ko nang pinag-usapan about screen time, pero kasama na rin dyan yung mga nahihirapan makatulog or gumigising sa gitna ng gabi tapos parang may biglang kakanta or biglang sisigaw or whatever. These are classic examples of screen addiction because yun na nga, sobrang dami nang tumatakbo sa utak nila na hindi nila maintindihan. So guys, kapag sinabi namin, and when I mean namin is the medical community, the American Pediatric Association, I think, I always forget the actual acronym. But yeah, the actual sinasabi ng mga doktor ay dapat from 0, as in birth, to 2 years old, wala pa sanang screen time yung mga bata. And naturally, di ba, ano bang ginagawa ng 0 to 1 year old? Birth to 1. Di ba, usually naman, sige, by 6 months, medyo nakakaupo na. From 0 to 6 months, hindi pa naman sila nakakagalaw on their own, di ba? So, they can only get screen time if you actually are the ones giving it to them. Inupo mo sila sa harap ng TV or inabutan mo sila ng cellphone. Otherwise, hindi naman sila makakuha ng screen time eh. And so, I want to reassure you that you don't have to give your children entertainment. You have to engage your children, especially from birth to their early formative years. Kung sa tingin nyo na, ay, better na yung may pinapanood siya kaysa wala siyang ginagawa. No, mommy. Actually, better na wala siyang ginagawa at tumitingin-tingin na lang siya sa paligid niya, trying to absorb what's happening in the environment, rather than papanoorin mo ng animated videos. So, for a lot of parents who feel guilty na, gusto yung nag-work ako at ang dami kong ginagawa sa bahay, hindi ko siya masyadong natututukan, that's okay. And that also sends a sign to your child na hindi sa lahat ng panahon ay matutugunan ka. Siyempre kapag umiiyak na, tugunan mo, diba? Pero sabihin ko yung mga times na hindi mo naman sila pwedeng kalaro 24/7. That's just the fact of life. But I want to reassure you nga na it's also not your job to make them entertained. I have an infographic on this on my Instagram. So, sa inyong mga may Instagram, baka gusto nyo din ako i-follow doon because that's where I post like faster infographics, yung mga in one look nakita mo na yung kailangan mong malaman without having to watch my 15-minute videos. But yeah, on Instagram I posted, it's what is entertainment and what is engagement? Entertainment is usually one way. Diba? Kapag entertainer ka, nasa stage ka, nasa TV ka, dakdak ka ng dakdak, one way siya. May nanonood sa'yo. Usually nang nanonood, hindi naman kailangang mag-respond. That is what it means to be entertained. Your children, your toddlers do not need to be entertained. That's why I choose engagement. Because engagement means you are doing something and your child has to respond, and so you are engaging with each other. Ito ang mas importante for your children. So going back to echolalia, my gosh, ang layo ng pinuntahan. But yes, echolalia is one of the effects also of being screen stimulated. So going back to your question, if nakikitaan mo yung anak mo na nag-echolalia, the first thing that is within our control is to remove screen time kung nanonood yung bata. What I mean by in our control is because, let's say, may autism pala yung bata, hindi pa natin alam. But you cannot control the autism. It is an organic thing. It's part of a child. So the things that we can control are external factors, including screen time. And so if we can remove screen time, number one, that is the first thing that you can do to experiment na, o sige, try ko nga talagang 1 week or 2 weeks, hindi ko papapanoorin sa cellphone, sa gadget, sa TV, whatever. And see, because as early as like 1 day na nagsiscreen rehab or screen rehabilitation yung mga iba kong clients, and as fast as 1 day, some parents have reported, grabe teacher, by night time, di na niya hinahanap sa akin, tapos mas lumilingon na siya sa akin. O diba? So it's worth a shot to remove that because like I said, kaya natin i-remove. Yung autism, kung autism man yan, hindi natin kayang i-remove. And malalaman lang natin kung autism nga yan, kung tayo magpatingin na. At kanina tayo magpatingin sa isang deaf in the assessment tools of autism. So medyo ang dami ko nang na-respond, no? Isang question pa lang. Alright, but I hope I kind of helped you understand your concern. And I'll move on now to the next one. Okay, here is from Sharmina who said yung 5 years old niya ay naka-sped schedule na siya ngayon. 2 years na po siyang nagsisped. I think this is what you're saying. Tinatry kong himayin yung pero tamad pong magsalita at masyadong mainipin. Okay, this is another thing that nabanggit ko na, diba? Kapag nagiging mainipin, it could be screen time. So that's one thing. But also yung mga tamad magsalita, usually for children, I would like us to adopt a mindset of they will do it if they could do it. Children always want to please and do things that are happy. Wala pa silang konsepto ng pagmamanipula. So when there are things that they do not do, I try not to think of it as tamad sila, but rather there's something na nahihirapan sila and possibly alam na niyang nahihirapan siya and therefore ina-avoid na lang niya yung task of speaking. So this is one of the behaviors called task avoidance. And so it's possible na kung meron nga siyang kahirapan sa pagsalita, ay it's because nahihirapan siya. And since I don't have any more information about what you said, can I just refer you to my episode on several things about tamad magsalita. Could be na bulol ba yung anak nyo? That's episode 36 on my YouTube channel, guys. On all my social media accounts, I'm at Teacher Kaye Talks. So, sa YouTube, hanapin nyo lang din ako, Teacher Kaye. So, ito pong sinasabi ko, if you want to check about your child's pagkabulol, that's episode 36. It could also be verbal apraxia. I won't get into that now kasi hindi naman, I'm not naman that sure if that's what you're trying to say, but marami kasing characteristics yung apraxia na sinasabi ng mga tao na usually nga, feeling ng mga parents who don't understand it yet. Sinabi nila, parang ang tamad nung anak ko kasi minsan nasasabi naman niya, pero minsan hindi niya nasasabi. And that's a characteristic of apraxia. So you may want to look and check this video if may ibang characteristics na pinapresent yung anak niyo ganito. Hang on. Hindi ko mahanap yung episode. There you go. Episode 45 called Verbal Dyspraxia. And then also the one who had a question on echolalia, that's episode 33 on my YouTube channel. So guys, I hope that I helped you in some way. Okay, another one is how to improve the speech ng bata with echolalia, turning 7 years old, a boy with mild autism. So, okay, so let's go back to echolalia because you're right. I just described it pa lang, but I haven't said what you can do. So, pag inuulit nung bata, and first, I want you to find out kung inuulit ba niya lahat ng sabihin mo. As in, kapag sinabi mong, K, do you want this? Do you want this? Or, ang repeat lang niya ba ay questions. So, for a lot of children, kasi yung questions lang yung repeat kasi mas nahihirapan silang intindihin yung questions. So, one of the ways to help a child with echolalia is by giving the answer instead. So, kunyari, pag tinanong mo siya, Kay, gusto mo bang kumain? Tapos sabihin mo, opo. So, sabihin mo na yung sagot para the likelihood na ang i-repeat niya sa'yo ay yung opo. So, natanong mo siya and mamomodel mo na tinanong, opo yung sagot. And then sana, if you do that enough times, magigets niya na hindi na kailangang ulitin yung gusto mo bang kumain, opo? Opo na lang yung uulitin niya. So, it's just a lot of practice with helping the child find their own words to express themselves. Madami pang tips doon sa episode 33 on echolalia. But yeah, that's one of the main things that you can practice. But if you want more details on step by step how to teach ganyan, yeah, you can try that one. Okay, here. This is a question from Candice. My daughter hindi pa rin nakakabuo ng sentence. Words niya po ay hindi niya mabuo. Like for milk, me lang. And minsan, sasalita siya ng diretso, parang alien po. And yung daughter daw niya ay 2 years and 4 months. So there are so many things that I want to talk about in this concern. By 2 years and 4 months, starting pa lang naman talaga sila mag-combine ng 2 words. So, yung makabuo ng sentence, medyo advanced na po yung ina-expect niyo sa kanya. So, medyo let's go down to their level. So, at 2 years and 4 months, they are only starting to be able to say, kain, mommy, or laro, daddy, ball, tapon, gusto cookie. Ganyan pa lang talaga yung mga sentences nila at 2 years and 4 months up until mga 3 years old. Baka maybe by like a little bit before 3 years old, pwedeng nakakapag-combine na sila ng more words. But yeah, not really sentences as we know them. And then yung sinabi mo na yung nasasabi niya ay imbis na milk, me pa lang. I know this is just one example, but in the word lang na milk, yung milk is, there's 2 things about that. Number 1, it's a cluster. A cluster are 2 consonants together. Look. Which means na ang consonants kasi natin, kailangan gumagalaw lagi yung parts ng mouth natin. May didikitan silang ibang part ng mouth to make that sound. For example, yung L, kailangan magdikit yung tip ng tongue ko doon sa upper set of teeth. Yung K naman, yung back part of my tongue, aatras siya, ayan na, magta-touch siya dun sa upper palate ko. That is the characteristic of a consonant. Merong iba-ibang posisyon ng parts ng mouth natin na magdidikit at maghihiwalay to make those sounds. Now, so for clusters, you need to transition from 2 positions. So from using the tip of your tongue to the back of your tongue, it takes a lot of practice, and that's why at 2 years and 4 months, a lot of children really don't have clusters yet. I mean, okay lang din naman kung may mga bata na nakakapag-clusters, may mga ganun talaga. Some of them learn much faster. But it's also okay pa lang na hindi pa sila nakakapagsabi ng clusters. So I want you now to observe kung clusters lang ba yung nawawala or all types of words meron pa siyang nawawalang sounds. In which case, baka po meron siyang phonological processes. So this sounds like a very technical term, pero actually, hindi naman. Wait, I'm just looking for the episodes on this. So episode 57, 50, 57 and 58 are both on phonological processes. Ibig sabihin, ina-explain nito yung mga natural na pattern ng development ng mga bata as they learn how to speak more clearly eventually. So there are phonological processes such as cluster reduction na hindi muna nila sinasabi yung clusters because gusto nila madali eh. Ganun lang children. They want what's easy. They're very efficient. So, kung hindi pa sa kanila madali yun, they will stick to what is easy and naintindihan naman. So, mi for milk. It could also be final consonant deletion. So, I want you now to, merong instructions doon. Actually, in the episode on bulol, 36, I give you tips of how you can determine kung ano ba yung sounds na nawawala doon sa anak ko. So, you can do that by isusulat nyo lahat ng mga hindi nasasabing tama or maayos ng anak ninyo. So, for example, milk. Isusulat mo yung word, the intention, at kung paano niya sinasabi. Mi lang. Tapos, magsusulat ka ng laro. Tapos, ang nasasabi lang niya ay aro. So, if you list enough words, makakakita ka ng pattern eh. Ang ayaw pala niya sabihin ay yung mga sounds. Siguro kasi nahihirapan pa siyang i-elevate yung tip ng tongue niya. So, these are very important for you to know so that malalaman nyo kung paano nyo matutulungan yung bata, how to call attention to certain parts of your mouth na baka mapadali nung pagbigkas niya. So, also in phonological processes, you will see other examples ng mga natural na dinadaanan ng mga toddlers bago maging klaro yung speech nila. So, at 2 years and 4 months, hindi pa ako ganun ka-concerned, but you can already start to help the child, definitely. Okay, hindi ko na kaya. Kailangan ko nang iubo yun. Okay. Alright, so another one, there's another question for an 8 years old na hindi makabuo ng words, may pagkabulol. So, because I already kind of explained, you can go back na lang to those episodes. Like I said, that was episode 36 on bulol and phonological process para mas maintindihan niyo po kung paano niyo po maintindihan yung bata. Okay, this one says, may concern lang po sana ako sa isang bata na hawak ko. Oh, okay. So, it looks like hindi ka yung parent. Kasi kahit maganda ang compliance niya, yung communication naman po niya is talagang wala pa po. 13 years old na siya. Okay, so ang hirap nga actually. So, some children can be very compliant. Sa mga hindi familiar sa word na to, compliant, ibig sabihin, masunurin. Pero kung may mga taong sunod lang ng sunod, gagawin yung ipapagawa mo, pero hindi pa rin nagko-communicate. So, more than wanting compliance for the child is really finding what interests the child para baka mas makapagsalita siya. Kahit ba anong sounds hindi nagagawa ng bata, because kung kahit na anong sound at 13 years old na siya, wala pa talaga siyang nasasabing any, not even babbling sounds, I would like to encourage you to explore an AAC or an augmentative and alternative communication system for the child. I have a video on that. That's episode 66, because baka mas maging functional na for a 13-year-old and nung family ng 13-year-old na mabigyan ng options nung bata na it's not just naman speaking how we can communicate at that age. Baka kailangan na natin, baka mas kaya ng bata to learn sign language or to use pictures to tell people what they want, mga ganyan. So you'll find more about AAC on that episode 66. I hope that clarified that question. Hi, JG. Oh, okay. So, this one is from Maria Cristina, and nabanggit rin pala to kanina, nakalimutan kong respondahan nung sinabing parang alien yung anak niya. Kasi parang ito rin, sinabi niya, yung pamangkin ko hindi rin makapagsalita ng dire-diretso, madaldal pero di maintindihan at ginagaya lang niya yung sinasabi namin like good morning, hi, hello, watching from Aklan. Okay, so yung mga madaldal, parang madaming sinasabi, pero hindi nyo maintindihan, parang sinabi nga nung isang mommy kanina, para siyang alien. This is what we call jargon. Ang jargon ay parang, we feel parang gusto na nilang makipag-communicate kasi tunog nakikipag-usap, 'di ba? They have the intonation patterns, parang da 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 wa ha cha wa. Pero hindi totoo yung words na sinasabi niya. Pero obvious na may gusto siyang i-communicate, or at least meron siyang concept of how communication sounds spoken, 'di ba? Usually ang napapansin ko sa mga batang nagja-jargon, whether it's part of their typical development or yung mga older na nagja-jargon pa rin, is kulang kasi ng vocabulary nila to say what they want to say. Meaning, siguro yung concept meron sila. Alam nila na ang bilog, yung paikot na shape na pinaglalaroan nila ay isang bola. Pero hindi nila ma-retain yung word na bola. Kaya kapag gusto nilang sabihin yung word na hindi nila masabi. Pero parang ganun. It's possible kung yun ang mga possibility of kung bakit nagja-jargon ang mga tao. So, at the jargoning stage, or kapag kahit malaki na sila tapos nagja-jargon pa sila, what's important is you find what you think they're trying to say. So, kunyari, nagdadadada sila sa'yo sa kainan, tapos sinasabi, ganyan. Alam mong, nagtuturo siya dun sa food na gusto pa niya. Ibigay mo yan dito. So, kapag nag-jargon sila sa'yo, balikan mo lang agad ng target production, which is kung ano sa tingin nyo yung sinasabi niya. Gusto mong kunin ko yung sinigang. Bigyan pa kita? Gusto mo pang kumain? Mas marami pang sinigang? So, yun, para mabigyan sila ng vocabulary, you keep giving them the opportunity to learn the word again, to retain the word na, yun pala. Baka next time, masabi na niyang, pengi pa. Kasi naulit mo na, gusto mo pang humingi ng sinigang, for example. So, I also have an episode on jargon, and that's episode 34 on my YouTube channel. So, for everyone who's on Facebook here na hindi pa po kayo nagsubscribe sa YouTube, nandun po talaga halos lahat ng ginawa ko. I mean, hindi halos lahat. Nandun talaga sa YouTube lahat ng ginawa ko over the pandemic, which I think I've covered all the basics. And even if hindi ako masyado nakaka-make ng new videos recently, ang dami na doon that will cover a lot of these questions actually na nabanggit na dito. So if you have the time, hanapin niyo po yung kailangan niyo doon. Alright. So, hello Limwell, hello Novi Rose, watching from Taytay. Hello Marilyn. This one's from Cheryl. Oh my gosh, sana, kaso nasa YouTube to hindi ko maano. Guys, I just want to share with you. This is success story. Nung nag-start pa lang therapy yung anak ko, fina-follow ko po yung basic advice nyo kasi zero talking po talaga siya dati. Ngayon po nakakapagsalita na siya. Thank you so much po, Teach. Thank you so much for sharing. I love it when I hear your success stories. Possible for an early school sa toddler, 2 years old. I try online free trial pero parang not possible na Yes, Candice, I suggest na if sa tingin nyo hindi pa makakapagsabayan yung anak ninyo in a regular online school, kasi mas mahirap talaga i-retain ang attention ng bata kapag hindi face-to-face, because face-to-face, you have the energy, you can touch them, you can guide their bodies. So yeah, kung kaya nyo pong madala sa isang face-to-face play school, that would be so good. Hello Marilyn from Tarlac. Hello Abigail. Okay, so meron daw siyang anak with bacterial meningitis nung 2 years old and 6 months. Ang epekto po ba ng bacterial meningitis niya kaya di siya nakakapagsalita now? It is possible po kasi ang meningitis po ay ina-attack ang ating brain. So it depends on the severity kung nung nangyari po nung meningitis. But posible naman din pong makita yan with okay, hindi ako sure dito So, I hope you can go to a pediatrician and talk about your concerns. Kasi baka sa imaging, makikita naman kung na-hit yung language areas of the brain. Because there are several language areas. Broca, there's the part of the brain called Broca, Wernicke, Ayan. These all control the language parts of our brain. So, kung yun po yung mga natamaan, it's possible na yun po ang reason kung ba't di siya nakakapagsalita. Or, it's possible na because of that singular incident, medyo nag-regress lang po yung skills ng bata. When we say regress, ay bumalik doon sa parang nawala yung ibang skills na natutunan nila and probably went back to more basic skills and they just have to relearn it. So that's why it's important na kung may nakikita kayong ganito ay makapagpatingin kayo sa professional para mabigyan siya ng support na kailangan niya to relearn or learn these skills. So same, yung mga same po yung concerns like Lakshmi said na ito rin yung anak niya madaldal pero hindi maintindihan. Guys, kung nakikinig kayo kanina, that was also jargon. And jargon is episode 34 on my YouTube channel. Para lang po mas marami tayong matugunan, hindi ko na po uulitin. Oh, hello Veronica from Nueva Ecija. Hello A. Mendoza. Hi Angelique. Okay, this one is... Okay, so clarify ko lang na hindi po ako doktor kasi may mga nagsasabi, hi doc, ganyan. Hindi po ako doktor but we are an allied medical profession. So I'm an SLP if you want a shortcut for how to call me or teacher. Okay, so itong nagsabi na yung anak niya ay 3 years old at nakakasabi ng ABCD, 1, 2, 3, 4 fruits and colors. Again po, I would like you to review your screen time habits and baka po ito yung nagiging cause ng itong speech delay ng bata because kung yan ang napipick up niya, that means yan yung madalas niyang marinig. It's possible that they memorize it, but they don't understand it. And that's why hindi niya nagagamit in conversation or the ways to communicate with you. Okay, this one said yung anak niya ay diagnosed with GDD. Pedia advised us for OT or play school once a week, but the problem is 5 centers na ang na-inquire and walang available. Okay lang po ba na ABA muna? I prefer OT over ABA and hindi ko pa ang dami nang nagtatanong sa akin about ABA and actually hindi ko kasi ma-summarize yung feelings ko on ABA but generally, but don't quote me, I have not had good experiences with our local ABAs. I know that they are able to help other people in theory, but lahat po and I've had I've been in 3 teams with other ABA professionals na hindi po okay yung naging experience ko. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. But definitely, if you're looking for any form of intervention, you can try whatever you want. You can try and then, but make sure na hindi nung try na tipong, lalagay ko siya sa ABA, tapos bahala na. It's like, put them in ABA and observe. Are there positive changes? Are there negative changes? So, sa lahat naman ng ipaglagyan natin, kahit idala mo siya sa akin, speech therapy, it's not like, ito na Teacher Kaye, ayusin mo yung anak ko. It's more like, speech therapy is, we need you families to work with us. We need to work with you. We need to understand what's happening at home. We need to work together to find out what's going to be best for the child. So with everything naman that you start for your child, always observe what the effects are going to be. And then if you don't like the effects, don't feel bad about pulling them out. You always look out for your children's well-being. Uy, Luko, sabi, tinigil na namin yung screen time gaya ng advice nyo and nag-improve ang mood at sleep niya. Hindi rin siya nakakapag-combine. Pero ano na yan? So, this is kadugtong pa to nung nagsabi kanina na nag-ABC, ganyan. So, nagtanggal na naman na pala siya ng screen time and they've seen positive changes. Sige lang, keep it up. You're doing a great job. That is the first big step. And if you've seen na nag-improve na yung mood at sleep, the attention will follow. Marire-introduce siya doon sa doon sa kung paano makitungo sa ibang tao. And if the attention starts to improve kasi, that is when learning happens. So, give it some time po. You're on your way. Cheryl is asking, anong difference ng virtual autism and ASD in terms of symptoms, treatment, and related possible recovery or outcome? Actually, Cheryl, virtual autism is still not an official diagnosis. It's kind of like a buzzword. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I looked this up also when I first saw it. Nung unang nakita ko yung term na virtual autism on like an article. So, tinignan ko, may diagnosis na ba talaga na virtual autism? So, I researched and it's not pa lang. It's one of these buzzwords na ginagawa ng mga tao to try to describe a phenomenon. And the phenomenon nga is itong mga batang are exhibiting similar signs of autism spectrum disorder such as walang attention kapag tinawag yung pangalan, nag-echolalia, nag-uulit ng sinasabi, dumadalas yung mga repetitive behaviors like flapping of the hands. Pero nung tinanggalan ng screen time, so for those of you, sorry, hindi ko pa pala na-explain for everyone who's not familiar with virtual autism, ang nakalagay dun sa nabasa ko ay ang virtual autism daw ay ang nakikita nga nilang phenomenon ngayon where children are presenting symptoms, the same symptoms of autism. I hate using the word symptoms, characteristics na lang of autism, but are only linked to screen time. Kaya virtual. Na kapag tinanggal nga yung screen involvement, ay parang nagle-lessen din yung characteristics na yun. So, since it's not an official diagnosis, we still only have information on how to treat, also it's not treat, but how to support autism. And there's no recovery because autism is not a sickness, it's not an illness. So there's no recovering from it. Hindi po sila gumagaling. It's a lifetime condition that we accept as a different way of perceiving or understanding the world. Si Wilma, sinabi, ang anak kong si Gabriel ay Tagalog po, ay apo pala. May signs of autism siya. Hindi pangalan niya Gabriel Tagalog. Lol, ano ba itong pagbabasa ko? 3 years na po siya at now lang po kami nakakarinig ng mga words sa kanya. Yay! But that's good because if hindi nyo pa po siya napapadiagnose, pero ang strong ng feeling nyo na autistic yung bata, well, first of all, it's still really important na ipag-diagnose ninyo. Because mag-iiba, because if you don't have them diagnosed and then you think, siguro autistic to kaya ganito yung behaviors, what if hindi pala autism? And what if screen-related na naman nga yung cause of their characteristics that they're presenting? And so we will ignore that we need to remove the screen factor. So, sana mapadiagnose niyo po. But it's good na yan, finally nakaka-catch up na siya, nakakarinig na sila ng first words from this boy. So hopefully you can keep it up and kung meron po kayong kakayahan at access, ay mapatingin niyo po yung bata. May nag-share na naman dito, si Rosemary. Thank you, Teacher Kaye. Ang laki nang na-improve ng anak ko. Sa ngayon, ang problema na lang niya is bulol at hirap siya sa Tagalog, pero mas naiintindihan na namin siya at mas nakakapag-communicate na din po siya. I'm so happy to hear all of this. Good job. Claire Ann says, I'm a licensed SPED teacher, freelance setup. I have a client na partially nonverbal, recommended for speech therapy, pero di kaya ng budget nila. How can I help the child to talk? Depends din po kung ilang taon na yung bata and kung ano yung... So, if you say partially nonverbal, so meron namang nasasabi yung bata. My number one tip for children na may mga lumalabas-labas naman na words every so often is you find more of what they're interested in. So it's really choosing to connect with the child rather than sabihin mo to, ito, i-memorize mo tong word na to. So when we connect with the children, they feel that and eventually doon lumalabas yung mga bigla nilang masasabing, wow! Or biglang, love you, thank you, dumadami yung mga gusto nilang sabihin. So actually, if I just had a conversation, not a conversation, parang I had a chat with my friend na SLP din na sinabi ko nga, nung earlier practice ko of speech therapy, I was so focused on, kailangan by the end of this session, nagawa ng bata, ito, nung goals ko for the child. Pero ngayon, I really just focus on how much I can connect to this child. It's because yun yung nakita kong pinaka maraming output is when I focus on our connection together, doon dumadami yung sinasabi nila. So I hope that helps you. Hello, Pasok Candy. MJ, my son is diagnosed with language development disorder. Tama pa kaya diagnose nila even if magaling sila sa English communication exams? Second Dutch, not yet enough. Third Tagalog from Netherlands. Oh wow, that's hard because I need more information on this. So, sa pagkakaintindi ko, you live somewhere else. You live in the Netherlands. So, ang alam niyang salita ay English and Dutch and Tagalog. Pinaka hindi niya alam ay yung Tagalog, pero pinaka okay niya ay English. And you think na magaling siya mag-English, pero hindi siya okay mag-Dutch. And because nandyan kayo sa Netherlands, na na-diagnose siya ng language development disorder. So, I'm so sorry, but I have to be honest na ang konti ng information here and it seems like such a rich story na I need to know more. But definitely if you see that he's apt in like adept in one language, then obviously it's the acquisition of a second language na nahihirapan siya. Kung okay siya sa English at nakakapag-cope siya sa exams in English, then he's completely capable. But if he's doing poorly in maybe other work or he cannot perform as well in Dutch, it's possible na he just hasn't become fluent in Dutch yet. And that's not so unusual because learning a second language is hard. So like I said, I can't really answer this question with the amount of information, but wow, if you would like to get in touch with me with more information, you can. I'd love to say contact me on my Facebook, pero hindi na nga ako nakaka-reply doon, but I don't know, maybe we'll talk about this some other time. Yung anak ko, kailangan mag-speech therapy and OT, occupational therapy, 3 years old, nitong Feb 13. Okay, go! Kapag sinabi ng DevPed nyo, NeuroDevPed nyo, na yan ang refer, that means yan ang nakikita niyang support na kailangan ng bata. So, good luck! You're starting on your intervention journey. Okay, here it says, bakit yung anak kong 3 years and 3 months with ASD naiinis pag sinasabi ko yung word na no? Like, kapag gusto ko siya, stop niya ginagawa niya at sinabi mo yun, iiyak na siya. Well, actually, kahit sino, kahit wala pang ASD yan, ayaw ng batang pinipigilan kung anong gusto nilang mangyari because hindi pa sila marunong mag-self-regulate. Children at 3 years old have a hard time seeing from the perspective of another person yet. So kapag sinabi mong no at naiintindihan niya na, ay gusto na namang itigil ni mommy yung ginagawa ko, feeling niya, basag trip ka lang. Because hindi niya naiintindihan na, ayaw ni mommy kasi dangerous to. Ayaw ni mommy kasi kakain na kami mamaya. So you could have many reasons, but to the child who's only 3 years old, ang naiintindihan lang niya, pinapatigil na naman ako nung gusto kong gawin. So yeah, it's when you say no, it's a trigger, but especially exacerbated by kung may autism na yung bata. Parang nagiging baka ano na siya sa kanya, nagiging averse siya dun sa salitang no because it triggers more feelings. I hope that answered your question. Okay, my daughter is 2 years and 6 months. Until now, di pa niya nasasabi ang mama at papa. And lang nasasabi with no unusual behavior. 8 months ang waiting for a DevPed. Okay, so 2 years and 6 months. Okay, so and are what we call, ano pa lang yan, cooing. So cooing is something that happens from 3 months to 6 months old babies. So kung walang other unusual behavior but ganito po ka-delayed yung kanyang speech development dahil nasa sound production pa lang siya ng and I want you to check yung pandinig ng bata, and then I want you to check kasi posibleng hindi pa niya naririnig yung ibang sounds kaya hindi rin siya nakaka-produce ng other sounds because wala man lang siyang bababa, papapa, ta 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 ta. And then I also want you to check. So, okay, my episode on checking hearing is... Anong episode yun? Nasaan? Hindi ko mahanap. But I give you tips on how to check hearing at home bago pa kayo mag-official hearing check-up sa ENT or audiologist. Wait lang. Nasaan yung check hearing? Meron bang find dito? Check hearing. Bakit wala? Nasaan yung naririnig? Ano bang title nun? Hearing. Ayun. Episode 46 po. I check hearing. I want you to check your child kung nakakarinig siya. This gives you step-by-step things on things you can try para malaman kung naririnig ka ng bata. And then, I also want you to check out the episode na sinabi ko dun sa isa pang concern kanina, and this is apraxia, and that's episode 45. Because it's possible na nahihirapan yung child to move their oral musculature para makapag-produce ng other sounds. Kaya nalilimit siya to and Inom lang ako, guys. Guys, yung mga super similar na mga concerns, skip ko na ha, and it doesn't mean that I am choosing to ignore you. Bigyan mo po ako ng tip paano i-guide ang bata sa speech therapy. Nahihirapan siya sa L, bigkasin, at minsan ang V at K. Ilang taon na po yung bata? Because yes, you can help them as early as any time by giving them more attention to anong kailangan gumalaw for certain sounds, but also baka naman hindi pa talaga developed yung mouth nila kapag masyado pang bata. So I'm talking to Marife, if you can get back to me. And for those who who are messaging me, just saying, yung anak ko rin po, speech delayed, help me po. You need to describe to me what you need help with. Kasi napaka-broad po nung paano ko po kayo tutulungan. there's someone who is asking na yung 6-year-old na anak niya ay pumapasok ngayon sa sped school, and ina-ask niya is that okay na nagsuschool siya? Yes, it's okay. So socialization is so important for any child, no matter what condition, because it also shows them other children of their age, their peers, kung paano sila gumagalaw, and it could there is a concept called social learning theory ni Vygotsky. And it says nga na children learn from a more knowledgeable other. Now, all these more knowledgeable others does not mean lang someone who is older. For example, I'm a more knowledgeable other even if may iba akong kaedad sa inyo, just because I studied speech-language pathology. But to your children, it doesn't matter about age, but if makikita nila na may mas nakakapagsalita na yung ibang bata, or mas nakakaupo sila ng matagal kapag sinabing, okay, magka-arts and crafts tayo. So then that gives them access, a school or any socialization group, play group, will give them access to a lot of more knowledgeable others, kasi may mga bagay na mas magaling siyang gawin, siya naman ang knowledgeable other sa ibang tao, at may mga ibang taong may ibang na mas okay gumawa ng ibang bagay than siya. So they will all learn from each other. So yes, but again, I want you to observe if it's okay. Paano nag-thrive yung bata? Nakakakita ba kayo ng positive changes or improvement in behaviors? Okay, ito rin isa na nasabi na naman na yung 2 years old niya ay tamad mag-talk at panay senyas lang. When you mean senyas, and this is another common concern, is yung mga taong kapag ba yung anak ninyo may gusto, imbes na sabihin kayo or tawagin kayo, dadalhin kayo dun sa gusto niya, tapos titingin lang sa kanila. So, nung ganitong pagsenyas ay tawag dito pulling to show or hand leading. And it doesn't mean na tinatamad silang magsalita, is because hindi nila kaya. Hirap na hirap silang magsalita. So, for this, I would like you to try episodes 8.1 and ano to? Episode 8 and 8.1. It's about kung paano natin ma-encourage yung bata na imbis na sumenyas, kung kaya nilang gumawa ng sounds. But of course, the prerequisite to this is, nakakapag-imitate ba yung bata ng mga sinasabi nyo? Kunyari kapag sinabi mo, can you say mama? Nasasabi naman niyang mama. Because if hindi pa to kaya, hindi pa pwede yung episodes 8 and 8.1. Or at least hindi pa siya ganun ka-appropriate. But you can always still try. Malay natin, diba? So the thing about speech therapy and all these speech techniques is that they're all trial and error. Even if case studied na, this is effective, this works, it's possible that it has worked for so many other children, but it won't work for your child. So, importante pa rin yung trial and error. Hello teacher, this is from Nicole. My 3-year and 8-month-old is having SPED 3 times a week and OT 2 times a week plus 100% no screen time. Dami na word sabihin. He can even call me mama na, and it melts my heart. I'm so happy for you guys. And thank you so much for sharing. You know, you don't all get back to me. You don't all share with me na, teacher, nag-work. So, I love it. I love hearing from you, your good, your progress. O si Arlie, meron din. Hello, Teacher Kaye. Salamat po sa mga video mo. Kahit pa paano nakakuha kami ng idea for 2-year-old baby boy. Pumunta kami, napansin agad daw ng baby development. So, kulang naman sa mga video. Okay, so gist ng sinabi ni Arlie is, nung napansin nila na hindi nagsasalita yung anak nila, pumunta sila sa pedia, napansin agad na ng pedia na si baby ay mabagal yung development, pero dahil kulang sila sa budget, sa mga video ko daw sila kumuha ng mga pwedeng gawin na idea. So, thank you daw. And she's watching from Dingalan, Aurora. Wow, ganda dyan, Beach. Claire says, thank you so much, Teacher Kaye. Tapos, ano bang sinabi niya? If AAC po ba pwede kami mga SPED teacher magturo? I'm afraid we might bypass SLPs. No. So, if AAC, you still need to see a speech pathologist. But the thing is, ang maganda dun is you contact the AAC specialist. So, like, I'm not an AAC specialist. Pero kapag humingi kayo ng tulong from an AAC specialist, they will try to, so obviously may kasamang assessment yon. Titingnan niya ano bang kakayahan ng bata, asan siya nagre-respond. So, it doesn't need to be yung speech therapist forever. Pwedeng the speech therapist helps you develop nung appropriate na AAC para dun sa bata. Pero, in the long run, kayo na laging kasama niya, yung SPED teachers niya, ang pwedeng mag-continue, mag-maintain, and para follow-up activities for the child to learn his girl nga ba to, his or her personal AAC. And also because it's not just, you can't just like choose, ito yung gusto kong AAC. That's why you need to find a specialist kasi kailangan makita kung anong skill set ng bata, anong kakayahan ng family for a certain kind of AAC, etc. So, you're right in asking, and I'm so glad you guys are responsible and ethical na you know na kailangan mag-refer muna sa SLP. Yung OT din hindi gumagawa ng AAC, SLP lang to. Is it okay sa mga parents na walang budget for therapy na ipasok sa SPED program sa school para kahit papaano may improvement sa kanila? Yes! Kung walang budget, guys, talagang you do just the best you can. And that's why I'm so happy with all of you na pupunta dito asking for help because alam ko, naiintindihan ko na sobrang maraming pamilya sa bansa natin, and because we don't have any government programs supporting our disabled communities or good medical programs, that's why I'm just trying my best to help. Nung mga alam kong walang budget, walang resources, minsan hindi naman sa walang budget, pero wala talagang access, as in malayo sila, nasa liblib sila, walang mga speech therapist dun sa lugar nila. So, kung ano man yung situation ninyo, you just try to do the best you can. But, yun na nga. So, whatever you try with a kind of intervention, ipapasok mo siya dun sa SPED para kahit papano may natuturuan, you still want to observe, may ikinabubuti ba to? Baka din naman kasi hindi pala okay, na mas okay palang tutukan mo na lang siya sa bahay. So, I want you to observe all the ways na naapektuhan yung bata. Hi, Kiel! Kilala ko rin ang name na yan. Watching from Laguna. Chrisma. My son is 4 and assessment is speech-language impairment and ADHD, and the doctor says need to CT scan. Oh, why? Bakit kailangan daw i-CT scan? But okay. If it's a speech-language impairment, it just means a speech-language disorder also. So you might, if hindi sa inyo na-explain ng masyadong maayos what that means, I have an episode on that disorder. It's episode 37 kind of explains what a speech disorder means, speech language disorder, as opposed to it's a speech language delay. So for those of you who are wondering if there's a difference, there's a difference. Wait guys, okay, inom lang ako ulit. The A-team asked, yung anak ko po 4 years old na, hindi pa rin nakakapagsalita ng diretso, considered speech delay na po ba yun? Yes. Because by 4 years old, actually, nakakapagkwento na ang bata na parang matanda. Obviously, yung vocabulary and their choice of words is still not, diba? I mean, they will continue learning more words as they grow older. Pero by 4 years old, typically we say na nakakapagkatwiran na yan, nakakapag-speak in sentences, nakakapagkwento nung grammar ng pananalita nila. Syempre, may improve pa yan, especially with complexity. Pero, nakakapagsabi na sila ng, for example, sinabi ko kanina eh. Yan, makakaya na yung sabihin ng 4-year-old. So, kung hindi pa talaga siya nagsasalita, yes, speech delayed na po siya na I hope you can start to support the child. Tingnan niyo po kung saan siya nagkukulang. Kulang ba yung words na naintindihan niya? Bulol ba siyang magsalita? Mukha bang nahihirapan siyang galawin ang kanyang bibig? So, ang dami-dami kasing concerns in terms of speech delay. Also, you might find, yung kakasabi ko lang, yung episode 37, delay versus disorder, kung paano masasabi kung speech delayed ang bata. But another helpful, quick way to say na speech delayed ang bata is kung napapansin natin sa developmental milestones ay hindi pa nila nagagawa yung mga typically nagagawa na ng mga bata na ikaedad nila. Kapag masyado nang malayo yung skills na hindi nila natututunan. Paano kaya ayaw pag tinuturuan pero minsan na-mention siyang words pag pinaulit niya one and said mama fantas. Okay, so for those who think na yung mga anak nila ay behavioral yung problem, what does this mean? Na feeling nila na ayaw lang ng bata talaga magsalita pero kaya nila. I still want you to consider baka hindi behave. I mean, kayo ang mas nakakaalam. But I also want you to keep an open mind na baka hindi behavior and baka kapag nakakapagsabi sila minsan ng some words pero hindi nila nauulit na baka nahihirapan silang ulitin ang this exact same sounds. And this is exactly what verbal dyspraxia is because it's a motor control issue. So if you want to learn more about that, that's episode 45, verbal dyspraxia. Okay. All right, let's go. Here, Teacher Kaye, kung yung GDD po ba, nag-therapy po, maihahabol po kaya yung delay niya? Yes. GDD means Global Developmental Delay, which means na if it's not yet a disorder, nakikita lang na baka there are factors that might be contributing to bakit hindi natututo yung bata like typical other children. At kung mag-therapy, it's possible that masusupport sila enough with kung anong nagkukulang doon sa kung bakit hindi nila naintindihan or hindi nila nagagawa ang isang bagay at mahabol nga yung kanilang delay. But for those who are not familiar, global developmental delay means they are delayed in 2 or more aspects of their development. So this could be the way that they move and the way that they communicate. So usually that's gross or fine motor skills and speech or language development. I have an episode on GDD. If you guys want more information or mas kung gusto nyo ng mas maraming explanation in case hindi sa inyo na-explain masyado, that's episode 39 sa aking YouTube channel. Hello, love. Hello. Ito. Rose, I already talked about echolalia kanina. It's episode 33 if you want to look into it. Pero ito, sinabi nga niya na usually tends to remember scripts from movies and other usual conversations and use it. Sometimes natatama, sometimes malayo sa dapat na sagot. So, yung sometimes natatama, as you can see, tinatry niyang gamitin yung na-absorb niya ng mga chunks of information. So, it's mostly based on a feeling. So, nung iba na parang medyo malayo sa sagot, try mong isipin, baka it's a feeling more than a response. So, for mga ganito, pagka gumamit siya ng script to answer or respond to you, ang gawin mo is try to rephrase kung ano kaya yung gusto niyang sabihin. So, for example, kapag tinanong mo, are you hungry? Tapos ang sinagot niya, apple or something. Tapos nagkakanta siya ng fruit song or something. Sabi, you want fruits. Get kita ng fruits. Yan. So, parang nabigay mo yung target. Imbis na kailangan niyang kantahin pa yung A is for apple. Next. Here we have, hello, ask ko lang po, saan maganda kong gawin? My son is nag-aaral siya at matalino, naintindihan naman niya lahat ng instructions. He can read and write po. Ayaw niyan nakita communicate or magsabi ng like niya, ano kaya dapat? Hindi ko masyadong maintindihan. Sana pang mas maganda siyang dahil po mas maganda po siyang dahil Okay, so this really depends kung ano na pong age ng anak ninyo because kailangan kong malaman kung ano yung other skill sets niya kapag sinasabi mong he can read and write, pero hindi hindi siya talaga nagko-communicate at all. So I'm not sure kung paano kita matutulungan because I don't understand kung ano yung level of hindi siya nakakapag-communicate. Okay, sorry. Itong tuta ko, kaya ako nandito actually is because nasa isang sulok ako ng bahay kung saan pwede kong mabantayan yung bago kong tuta. I think kailangan niyang magwiwi. So I might have to end this soon, but we'll see. Good question here is, meron siyang anak na with GDD, nag-OT na siya. Paano malalaman kung pwede na siya mag-ST? Usually, yung occupational therapist niyo po ang mag-give ng go signal na, parang yung work behaviors niya, enough na po yung attention niya, enough na yung joint attention, task completion, mga ganyan. So, usually kapag nakitaan na siya ng good working behaviors, that will make sessions more conducive to learning na for the child. Usually, they will tell you naman, mukhang pwede na mag-speech therapy yung anak ninyo. This one is, yung anak ko mag 4 years old na sa May, pero di pa nagsasalita, pero meron siyang mga words na nasasabi, di lang siya makapag-sentence. Okay, so I want you to try, kapag meron na siyang mga words na nasasabi, I want you to try the technique called extension or expansion. I have a video on that. So, extension. That's episode 30. And usually, ang ibig sabihin lang nito ay tuwing may nasasabi siya sa inyo ng mga words na kaya na niyang sabihin. For example, sinabi mo, gutom ka na? Tapos sabi niya, cookie. So, imbes na cookie lang, sabihin mo, yes, gutom. Gusto ng cookie. Or, dagdagan mo ng cookie ang gusto mo ngayon. So, dagdagan nyo lang po ng dagdagan hanggang masanay siya, napipick up na rin niya yung ibang words hanggang eventually, makakapagdugtong-dugtong na siya ng words. Okay, I'm really sorry. Hindi pa naman ako mag-i-end, guys, ha? Pero give me 1 second, ilalabas ko lang yung tuta para makapag-wiwi. Mag-water break din kayo. See you! Sana you guys can stay. Okay, let's go. Come here. Let's go. Let's go outside. Come on, you make wee-wee. Run! Yehey! Naghintay sila. Ito po yung aking askal. Alright, let's see. Hello, kiss, kiss, kiss. Okay, Jennifer says, yung anak ko has ASD. He has been going to OT for 5 months. When siya ready mag-speech therapy, I know medyo vague ang question, napakaraming factors, but usually lang po, how cool, because yan yung kakasagot ko lang. Usually, your OT will now say, or will try, you can try to ask them for the behaviors na napapresent na nung bata. kung ready na silang mag-speech therapy. But generally, marami naman kasing nata-target na rin na words because syempre sa OT, kinakausap din yung bata, 'di ba? So, may natututunan din naman silang words kahit papano doon, even before mag-speech therapy sila. Oh, look, Alfie is watching from Baroy, Lanao del Norte. Hello! Ma'am, Diflam candy po. Very effective, proven na po. Thank you for that. Actually, hindi ko pa natatry ang Diflam candy. Pero natry ko na yung Diflam na spray. Although I typically try not to use yung mga ganon. Kasi kapag masyadong na-soothe yung throat ko, pipilitin ko pa mas lalong magsalita and it might cause me to hurt myself more. But thank you for that suggestion. Thank you. Hi, Joy Cha from Paranaque. Hello, Lori. Teacher talaga. Oh no, wait lang guys. Tumakbo yung tuta. Okay. Here we have from Tarlac. 3 years and 5 months is nung daughter ko, nakakapag-talk naman po siya ng 1 word, can count 1 to 10 alphabet. Hirap siyang makipag-talk ng 2 to 3 words. So, the first thing I want you to try is remove screen time. Kung nanonood po siya ng any videos on whatever gadget. Also, yung mga nag-wonder if ano ba kailangan talagang ituro ng mga words na dapat for like toddlers, ganyan. It's really not alphabets or anything because yung mga alphabet is, saan ba natin sila ginagamit? Diba? They're only preparedness for reading and writing. And when does that usually happen? That happens late 4 years old to 5 years old ba yan? Actually, mga 4 to 6 years old is when we learn writing and in school. So, the first things that you want na words na natututunan ng mga bata ay yung makukuha nila yung attention ng mga kasama nila sa bahay. Like, kaya usually mama, papa, sometimes kuya, yaya, ate, mga ganyan. And then we also want them to learn words for the things that they want. So, these are words for their favorite food, their favorite toys. Kaya usually yan ang mga nasasabi ay mga dede or ano pa bang una nilang nasasabi? Bola, yan usually. So, kapag ang una nilang naging words ay yung alphabet, parang medyo hindi sila very functional first words. So, I would like you to consider na hindi muna yun yung ulit-ulitin sa kanila. Good afternoon. When do you decide to use AAC? My son is 3 years old but so far no pa lang nasasabi niya and makes some animal sounds but he follows instructions naman. You can decide to use AAC as a family whenever you want because AAC does not mean that there's no more hope for the child to talk because throughout our life, any person can still learn how to talk. Yan ang foundations of therapy is that you can keep learning throughout your life. So, you can decide to use AAC if you just want to give your child an option of other ways to communicate because hindi naman lang ang communication is talking. Communication can be in gesturing, communication can be sign language, it can be use of pictures, it can be use of gadgets making sentences for older children na or older individuals na kailangan na talaga ng alternative means of communication. But if you use AAC, sometimes there are a lot of studies that they have even encouraged the verbalization or yung pagtuto nga ng child to even speak because now that they have another way for them to express themselves and then they keep using that, eventually parang nagiging way for them to, I guess, absorb the information, the word in other ways na they tend to say it also. So I hope that if your family does decide to choose an AAC, that you can explain to other people in your life na AAC doesn't mean you've given up hope for your child talking, na it's just another way for your child to be able to communicate because 3 years old na siya at no pa lang ang nasasabi niya. We want the child to be able to express other things din naman, di ba? So, thank you for that awesome question. And I wish you luck. Yes, GDD, makakahabol pa ba ng pag-speak? Yes, of course. That's what therapy is for. But also, importantly, the things that you do at home and the habits that you have. So, kung lagi nyo silang kalaro, kausap, wala silang screen time, yan ang makakapagpabilis ng kanilang attention to learning. Non-verbal po siya. Minsan naiintindihan niya ako, minsan hindi. May chance po kayo magsalita para magkaintindihan kayo lagi. Okay, so for those who do not know, intellectual disability means that the child has problems learning to be independent. I have an example, a video on intellectual disability, and that's episode 51. Yun, yung parang yung cognition nila and executive functions nila, medyo nahihirapan talaga sila to do even their basic everyday needs, like kailangan pa silang bihisan, paliguan, kahit na medyo mas matatanda na sila. So now, sinasabi na non-verbal siya, meron ba siyang chance magsalita? Yes, guys, lahat may chance magsalita. Unless na lang talaga merong anatomical na pagkukulang. For example, walang dila. Yun lang ang naiisipan kung wala na talagang chance magka-spoken language. But otherwise, I think lahat ay matututunan magsalita. Of course, it's not a promise when I say that, but when you ask me, is there hope? Yes, there's always hope, because if I didn't believe in that hope, ano ba itong mga aso ko? Tinutulak yun. If I didn't believe in that hope, then I wouldn't be in therapy. Because we as therapists believe na yun na nga, learning is lifelong, and hanggat sa binibigyan natin ng support yung mga bata, they can continue to find ways to learn skills throughout their lifetime. Hello, Louie from Bulacan. Okay. All the time on Okay guys, so sobrang dami pong questions na mga, is there still a chance that he will learn with therapy? My answer to all of that is yes, there's always a chance, because I cannot foresee the future. And I guess, okay, so I guess it will be more helpful na magkwento ako sa inyo na meron akong mga clients na mga 10 years old na nagka-first word and then tuloy-tuloy na. Meron din akong clients na nagsalita noong bata sila, tapos nawala, tapos relearned how to speak na lang again at 6 years old. So guys, at any point in life, matututo pa silang magsalita talaga if we keep trying to find different ways of supporting them and their needs. Hi, Krasnelly! I know this name so well. Lagi ang nagsusupport sa akin. Excuse me, my dogs. Oh my goodness. Dito talaga sila nagkukulitan. Okay. Please leave. You're getting in my live stream. Grabe sila. Dito talaga sila naglaro. Ano ba yan? Nasira yung setup ko. I think it's time to go, guys. Balik na lang ako ulit next time. Kapag din medyo maayos na yung pakiramdam ko. Okay, here. Teacher, paano matanggal ang pagtakip ng ears ng daughter ko, 8 years old and 6 months? Din kulang siya socialization, conversation, and comprehension, but still going pa rin siya sa speech therapy niya. Teacher, please, sana masagot niyo po. Okay, so, I want to talk about this question because yung pagtakip ng ears, especially if yung child ay actually, I don't know kung bakit siya nagtatakip ng ears kasi hindi mo nabanggit kung may autism yung bata. But it's possible na meron siyang sound sensitivity. So, kung meron siyang sound sensitivity, obviously tayo, di ba, kapag nakakarinig tayo ng very loud sounds, iba-iba kasi ang threshold ng tao sa sounds. May mga tao na, 'di ba, ang hilig-hilig makinig ng loud music sa kanilang headphones. Na parang paano mo nagagawa 'yan, ang sakit-sakit na sa tenga. But yun, yung threshold nila for hearing is a lot higher than others. So dahil nga iba-iba 'yan, baka yung anak niyo po ay mas sound sensitive. So there are sounds na hindi niya ma-drown out, so kailangan niyang takpan. And it's not just about the loudness, ha. There are also gestalt learners, ito na, banggit ko nga kanina, diba? People who perceive things as a whole, who cannot filter out the different sounds in an environment. For example, tayo naturally, kahit na, let's say, we're at a restaurant, di ba? Tapos maraming tao. Tapos sabay-sabay nagsasalita lahat ng tao. Pero kahit pa paano, naiintindihan mo pa rin yung katabi mo, nakakwentuhan mo. At hindi ka magfo-focus dun sa kabilang table unless marites ka. Dahil you are able to filter out important information. Now, for some gestalt perceivers, they cannot filter out the sounds. It all comes sabay-sabay sa kanila. Lahat. Yung pagdaan ng jeep sa labas, yung faucet, yung tunog ng faucet doon sa kusina, yung kausap mo, pero yung boses din ng nasa kabilang table, lahat yan equal sa kanyang pandinig. So for some people who have this sort of sound sensitivity but also a gestalt perception of everything at once, talagang makakapagtakip siya ng ears. But like I said, you didn't mention autism, but I'd like to relate it to autism, where this could be a sensory behavior or a repetitive behavior or a stim, which is self-stimulating, which means na they are trying to regulate for themselves how they can make themselves more comfortable or to reduce discomfort or pain. So, unless sobrang nagiging hindi na functional, like buong araw na lang nakatakip yung tenga, what you can do instead is maybe provide the child with earmuffs or noise cancelling earplugs or something para nga mabawasan yung sound sensitivity niya, tapos tatanggalin lang kapag kakausapin niyo siya. But yeah, we don't remove this from a child because if they are in pain, if they are uncomfortable, ayaw naman nating mangyari yun, and all the more, hindi ka matututo when you are uncomfortable. So we try to support this kind of behavior. So I would like you to look at my episode on repetitive behaviors. This is episode 59 on my YouTube para mas maintindihan nyo. And guys, this goes for all kinds of repetitive behaviors, not just pagtakip ng tenga, but kung bakit nagfa-flap yung mga ng hands yung bata nyo, bakit tiptoe sila maglakad, bakit may mga batang kailangan naka-jacket lagi, ayaw nila na na-expose yung skin nila, bakit may mga bata na lahat na lang ng bagay dinidilaan, lahat na lang ng bagay sinascratch. These are all types of repetitive behaviors. This is a good follow-up question. For Gestalt learners, ano ang best way to teach them? I have an episode on Gestalt where, because I think I'm running out of time and medyo lumalala na yung kate ng lalamunan ko. But episode 73 on Gestalt, since now, I hope you understand that for Gestalt is they see or perceive things as a whole, but don't understand it. So, in my last live stream, I think I also gave this example. So, I had this child na, okay, no, I'll give a different example. So, for example, yung bata, nakita mong nagsusubo ng dapat hindi niya kakainin. So sabi mo, no, don't eat that! Tapos nagulat siya. So naintindihan niya na, ay, dapat hindi ko to ginagawa. Tapos the next time, sinusubukan naman ng bata mag-drawing sa wall ninyo. Tapos, nung narinig pa lang niya yung no! Naintindihan ng bata na, ay, pinapatigil ako. Pero ang sinabi niya, no, don't eat that. Kasi, imbis na ang na-retain lang niya ay no, as in stop that, yung buong chunk of information na no, don't eat that, yung na-retain niya as wag mong gawin yan. So, best way to teach a child na gestalt is to teach them how to break down the chunks that they have learned. So, imbes na no, don't eat that, i-break down mo ngayon, i-correct mo siya, sabihin mo, no, don't color that, or no, don't write on that. Para nagigets niya na, nahihiwalay pala yun, hindi pala yun isang piece of information, yung no, don't eat that, as one word. So, yun. Always break down their chunks of information para eventually they can also properly use their own words to create their own messages. Oh my gosh, itong mga aso ko, papakita ko lang sa inyo kasi ang kulit talaga, tinutulak nila yung guys, ano na, kaya ang gulo-gulo ng ilaw ko. Okay. Alright. Okay, good luck. I hope na makahanap po ulit kayo ng pang-therapy ninyo. Yes, I love seeing an agreeing mommy. Laki talaga ng factor ng screen time sa bata. Hello, Anna from Qatar. Aliyah says, lagi nakaabang sa live. Makakapagsalita pa kaya yung son ko. Nakapagsalita po siya ng mama. Yes, so see, if naka-learn siya ng word, which is mama, which is probably because it's the most meaningful para sa kanya, the way to do it is find more things that are meaningful for your child. At sana mas marami pa siyang matutunan na words. Alright, so it is 3:30 guys. I'm so sorry pero ika-cut short ko na siya, but I really loved seeing you all again today. I'll cut it short na today. Sobrang kati na talaga ng lalamunan ko. But thank you for those who tuned in. At talagang kailangan ko na mag-end kasi itong mga aso ko talaga, sobrang gulo na talaga nila ngayon. But if you are watching, you can rewatch this also. I'm going to be saving this on my timeline. And yung mga hindi pa po nagpa-follow and subscribe and like, I hope that you can support me and this community by liking and subscribing. If you find some posts helpful, you can also share the information. You can save it. That also helps Facebook and YouTube understand na, oh, people really like this content, and so i-recommend pa nila to other people. So guys, again, thank you. Sana nakatulong ako sa inyo. And thank you for all your support and for all those who stayed here. And hanggang sa muli, happy talking and mabuhay. And bye-bye, YouTube. Mwah, 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 mwah.